able to snowball?
Rapido is going to be the important man. There's 3 strength heroes on Thailand side. Tusk, Treant Protector, Dawnbreaker. If Timber gets unleashed in this game, I could see them playing through the Timber. Even though they don't have as big of a team fight as Thailand, but if the Timber is fat, he might be unkillable, because who's going to buy Vessel? I don't think anybody can buy Vessel on the Thailand. Yeah, they can't buy Vessel on... I don't think anybody can buy. Maybe the Treant can try to buy, but it's going to be very slow, you know. Maybe the Tusk can consider it, but usually you don't buy Vessel on any of the supports. So if the Timber gets a good lane...
I'm gonna be real with you. You gotta think out of the box a little bit in situations like this. You know what you gotta do. Okay. You gotta
Yes, Mike, what am I gonna do against the Timber?
Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're going to get a Vessel on the pot.
Okay. If you can interview 10 Fairy Dragon players and somebody is going to tell you, I am going to buy a Vessel this year. Okay, maybe 10 is not enough, 100. And somebody, if you even get one person that tells you, I'm going to buy a Vessel this game, I am going to get myself over to Singapore, book the nearest flight to Singapore, the fastest flight to Singapore, and come over and salute you.
That's gonna take a while though. Is that interviewing 100? That sounds like a lot of trouble for Salute, but I get what you're saying. I'm trying to figure out. Rapido is very scary on this Timbersaw, right? Because in his competitive career, Timbersaw, one of his top 5 most played heroes, 57% win rate. This guy, I feel like he has really improved this season. Right? He's always been just on the cusp of hitting that tier 1 level, and I feel like in some of the close qualifier performances that he's had recently, he's very much performed at a very high level that I feel like, you know, maybe one of these bigger Southeast Asian teams is going to give him a chance eventually. Interesting smoke maneuver here.
He's definitely considered tier 1 right now in CI, at least for offlane players. I think he's already there. And before we say anything extra, I have a feeling somebody's going to die here.
Yeah. Smell some blood in the water in our early game. Makashi trying to get the illusions to scout. Philippines, they're still very wary because they know that none of the Thailand heroes have shown so far. And now the jig is up. Makashi breaks the smoke at a nice angle. Nine still stalking onto CML though. I'm sorry, Mavis. I'm gonna call it Mavis because might not be too familiar. Mavis. Will probably get run down here. Not much you can really do into a task, and 23 Savage will snipe that first blood from long range exactly the way he wants to start that game.
Give it to your mid laner. How can you take it? And this is how you can tell who's the true boss of the team. So 23 Savage is the boss.
Listen to me, Winter. I think that was the right decision. I think that was the right decision because if the puck isn't rushing a Spirit Vessel, you know, he's already playing a rough matchup. Let the guy on the Wind Ranger is going to carry the game with a decent matchup, get the goal, so he can get to that point faster.
I don't buy it. Damn, I don't buy it. I think the simple explanation is 23 Savage is the captain of this team and he's saying, give me the kill.
You call it, could also just be, you know, power shotting to make sure they don't lose the kill, which would be very sad. How many times have we seen it at Enchantress? It's really this hero, right? So damn annoying, surviving past situations she really has no business living through. Yeah, it's always more important to secure the kill on the Enchantress, that's for sure.
Yeah, so you're saying the hate for the hero is what drives the aggression?
Yeah. In fact, I'd argue to say part of why the Wind Ranger is decent in this game is because the power shot is going to do a big number onto the Ench. And also focus fire. If you think about it, Wind Ranger is just a great hero into Ench. The only kind of losing aspect is the fact that she can dispel Wind Run. That's about it. And if you think about the situation that would have to arise for the Ench to be in range to dispel Wind Run, then maybe you could also argue that the Wind Ranger was out of position to begin with, because why are you that close to an Ench?
Yeah, just why, Mike? Why are you next to the Wind as the Ench? Keep your distance. You know, with Ange, you're always trying to play the distance game. I think in the early game, you're kind of like the king of the early game, but in the mid game, in the team fights, I would say a damage dealer.
And damage is being dealt to Mavis right now. He's gonna get run down for a second kill. And Q trying to escape over the tree line. They don't have enough move speed on Akashi, but somehow still ticks out. Must have been the damage over time from Blood Grenade or something like that before Mavis went down. 1-for-1 trade, still pretty nice for Thailand, I want to say, because they use the meta and they only get a support kill, and they don't even get the EXP for it.
I mean, this is why I'm saying, you know, the Dawn plus Tusk is a very deadly combo against Ange. You get bursted through the heal. You don't really have a chance to survive if you get caught in the full combo. Yeah. Lotus fight.
This Tusk, yeah, Lotus fight. Yeah, let's
very important. Very important. So Thailand's gonna get double lotuses. So you get to make a lotus root soup.
Right.
I don't know if that's your favorite soup, but that's my favorite soup.
I think that's a very Chinese ingredient to use in cooking. I don't really know any other cultures that use it very much, other than maybe Japanese.
It has a lot of medicinal purpose.
Sure. Well, no one's sick on either of these sides right now. Everyone's still chilling. You know, still early in the afternoon. Some aggression coming out. Looking to put the pressure onto Akashi. Even with all that high armor, Starbreaker's off the mark, but still should be enough damage. Big wand though. Akashi trying to walk this one off, and with the move speed from the early boots, he's gonna get back out to safety. That was really close. If the last strike from Jab's Q would have landed, I think that's a dead Terrorblade.
Any hero will probably just die there. Like Terrorblade just survives because he has what, 1 billion armor. He has what, 11 armor and level 3.
Crazy. Double digits at minute 3. That is insane.
And this is why you pick the TV into the Dawn. The Dawn Tusk. This is a lane where most carries will die if you have no way of like jumping out. You know, you have no mobility spell. Yeah. Is Timber doing well so
Savage
far?
to power shot when he...
I think Timber's doing well. 23 Savage is... Okay, never mind. CML dies again because he can't survive against Tag Team plus Starbreaker.
Yeah, unfortunately he doesn't have 11 armor. So that's gonna happen. And what's the game plan here for the Ench at this point? Because, you know, you come back to the lane, you're just an easy punching bag for Q and Jabs, right? They're just gonna keep farming you. Is it okay? Like, are you happy to just kind of tactical feed so that they don't kill Akashi?
Definitely no. I feel like Ange, you have to snowball the lane. This hero is not very good playing from behind. That's why you don't see a lot of Ange being picked recently. I think this hero is not the player of the month or not the player of last month, you know, on position 5. You see a lot more like team fighting post-fight heroes, you know, like Wyvern, for example, Phoenix. Ange is really not on the table because she got nerfed quite a bit, you know, with the creeps and everything. You're also very dependent on what creeps you're getting. The creeps will determine how much impact you can have in the early game, and if you're dying in lane because your opponent picks a counter matchup against you like the Dawn and us, then you're gonna struggle. You won't have a clear purpose in the game.
Yeah, can see that. Well, we'll have to keep our eye out on CML and kind of see how he recovers from this rough start. Speaking of a rough start, I think Mac versus Aumku in the mid lane, that is a direct counter, Night Stalker to Park. But up until this point, 5 minutes, it was daytime, so it was pretty tricky. Here's a Gate Gang from 9NZ, typical Trim Protector move, trying again to full commit onto Akashi. They'll get the Starbreaker this time, still surviving, but not long enough. Jabs will finally get the kill, but here's the first rotation. Mac trying to make it a double, chasing onto this tanky Treant Protector, and they just don't have the damage to finish him off. So settling 1-for-1, but that's the first Dark Ascension use for a support kill, and nothing else. That's tough. Meanwhile, look at Aumku in the mid lane, putting some pressure on with his shield rune. Looking for Shanks, just needs to find the angle of the AWP, but doesn't quite do enough damage to really pressure the Rubik, and Aumku will be forced to back off here.
Yeah, TP mid, you know, to... I guess he didn't want to go back bot, but...
Oh dear, Aumku's messed up here. Sticking around a bit too long, still surviving, living armor, I guess not really messing up because Max got no mana to keep the chase going. So overall, a pretty decent sequence from Thailand. They bring in 3 heroes to the bot lane, get a support kill, bring in 3 more heroes to the mid lane, and get nothing.
This is really good for Thailand. Like the terrible TP mid is gonna also kind of be not so optimal for his farming pattern. So this is very, very nice for the Thailand side. I have very good usage of the Trim Protector gate ganking. I think a lot of the early game is hinged on whether if you have like a good gate ganking hero, you know, like even Win is a pretty good core hero to go through the gate with a power shot to try to, I mean, he wasn't really needed, but this is a very strong hero that goes through the gate.
You see a rise in a lot of these self-sufficient carries that can make that move, right? You hit a level 6, or maybe the opponents, like very typical scenario, you know, maybe you're playing something like Kez versus Doom, and then the Doom hits level 6, you can't lane anymore, so you just go through the gate, gank the safe lane on the opponent's side, you know, get an objective while you're at it, and then the Doom's just up there kind of scratching his head like, what do I do? Right, I think that's something we've come to expect in this age of Dota 2. Solar Guardian online now, so any aggression that Philippines try to enact across the map can be very swiftly countered out. I imagine that Jabs will try and save that ultimate to counter out the Night Stalker's next Dark Ascension that's coming up soon. Here comes the push though. Mavis ready with some illusions, and the tomato creep started to put pressure on this tower.
I mean, I don't know about that, man.
Yeah, it's, I mean, especially against the Trip Protector, right? The trip damage is just not going to be as relevant. Q gets in for Deep Ward. It's a cheeky Deep Ward as well, but that's the tricky part. Are you really going to spend resources to try and kill this Tusk? You can't even, because he's got a nice ice shards up the cliff.
Yeah, you're starting to see the weakness of the support duo, right? This Ench and Rubik. If the early game is not going that well, they're not a very strong duo. If you compare that to the Tusk and Trian, they feel more imposing on the map, right? There's a lot more pressure when they're missing. They're running around, and then you feel like they have a lot of kill potential. Like you already also mentioned the Solar Guardian, so the Trian running around is not exactly one hero running around. There's always a +1 coming in with the Solar Guardian. So that creates a lot of pressure on the map. And you see Rupido, he's very, very afraid of pushing out the wave at top. You know, Akash is sure he can jungle, but Rupido is kind of like, where is the Trian? If he's missing, I feel like I might die, you know. The Trian ganks me with the Solar Guardian, I could potentially go down. So he cannot really farm very aggressively behind the enemy tower. You know, usually as an off-laner you want to do that to get more farm. And now you see like he's
especially
just,
on the Timber.
Yeah, he's very passive. He just takes the safe farm, he goes back to the tower because he's just that afraid.
And I feel like typically with a lineup like Philippines, you want to be finding these small little pickoffs around the map, you know, not really committing for a full-on team fight. So you're hoping Mac and maybe the Enchantress run into someone, Rupido, perhaps you bring the Rubik over to him and then they get a single kill.
Or Rupido.
Like you said, Solar Guardian available top lane, there's where the action is. Rupido, he'll get run down. Silence out onto Mac, Solar Guardian is available and out it comes Mac. He's gonna get grounded, he tries the Dark Ascension, but the problem is the sun, it's up and they can see him bright as day. He should have the move speed to get away, but that is a Dark Ascension for nothing. Again, they've lost Rupido, they've brought members up to the top lane, but at least maybe in the bot lane they can get themselves a tower.
Or if they didn't get this tower in the bot lane, this is going to be an absolute disaster for Philippines.
Oh, they get denied.
Oh my
Come
god.
on, dude.
Bro, that is a kick in the nuts right there. That is a huge, huge blow.
As a hammer on the screw right there, I've ever seen on that Star Philippines. Any sort of action that they've been trying to get started in this first game of our best of 3 today, just nullified entirely by Thailand. Great offensive plays, moving around with the Trim Protector and the Tusk, and great defensive plays as well from the Solar Guardian, and even the Living Armor helping out with the puck survival in many of these situations.
Yeah, Thailand definitely looks a lot more fluid as a team, you know, compared to Team Philippines. I think a lot of that also has to do with the heroes, and Rupido is just getting constantly pressured by this 23 Savage Wind Ranger. You know, he can't really. I feel like he can't really get a lot of farm because he's always worried about dying to either the Solar Guardian or the Trian being missing on the map. You know, a lot of invisible pressure. And whereas if you look on the Thailand side, because of the invisible pressure, they have a lot of very advanced wards. You know, the one in mid lane behind the tower, they have a lane ward at top. They see a lot of information. Like the amount of farm you can actually collect on the map, it's determined by how much information you obtain, right, on the map. Your wards, your hero scouting. If you see a lot of the map, then you can actually collect a lot of the farm on the map. So information is very, very important.
Yeah. I will say though that even though the Tusk and the Treant Protector are rather imposing, the way that they're playing right now is limiting, in a way, their own net worth, right? Tusk is not a hero that farms quickly. Treant Protector can use that Nature's Grasp to push out waves, but for now, his cores are the ones occupying the wave. So he's kind of stuck in this in-between, patrolling between top and mid. They aren't advancing their own games very much on the supports without making action happen. So I wonder whether that's an avenue Philippines can explore. Maybe just try and play that macro game, get the farm up, and play a bit safer. Because right now, it seems like they don't really have much other options.
I mean, when you have a intensive farming hero on mid, like a Puck, this is going to be the case. If you have like a Storm, Ember that can rotate or Pango, then your supports will tend to get more levels, you know. I think it's just the nature of the heroes that Thailand have at the moment. They just have to play a lot of more of a scaling game with the Treant. Try to keep your towers alive and just try to get XP wherever you can, you know, like leech some XP here and there, and hopefully you get to your level 6. Whereas the ball is on the Team Philippines side. They need to utilize every Dark Ascension to get kills.
I mean, they're dribbling it up to try and make a shot right now. Making a very advanced move towards this Wisdom Shrine area, but Jeb sniffs it out. I mean, this is quite a 1+1 = 2 situation, right? Because the only way that Philippines can get any action is if they deny the Solar Guardian. If not, Mac has no gameplay with his Dark Ascension. They'll Dark Ascension now, but surely they don't Solar Guardian to save 9NZ, and sure enough, they're happy to just walk away. They need have to get this tower.
Yeah, if they don't get the tower, this is a very, very bad trade.
But surely they can do that, right? No more living armor. I don't think 23 really wants to come on over.
Here comes the backup. They're coming in from behind with the smoke, the Tusk, and the wind.
This is a really nice haste rune. Great timing for Amku. He can just poke and prod from a distance and still outrun Mac. Backline, they're jumping straight onto the carry, and he's just gone. Mac was so focused on the front of the fight, he didn't see them coming in from behind. And now the sun is up, and it's his time to fall. They might have gotten a tower, but that is not a good trade at all for Thailand. And 23 Savage might just find more. It's CML being rather annoying here. Not sure whether the Wind Ranger is even going to bother for this kill. Probably not worth the chase. Say that. Still on the hunt here, not wanting to let anyone get away for free. Nice shackle into the snowball, and a punch should seal the deal, however slow it is. Slowly but surely. It's taking a while, but they'll get the power shot kill. 23 secures that one. A very big sequence there for Thailand. Not defending their tower successfully, but getting a whole bunch of important kills.
Yeah, that was a great decision there to come in from behind with the smoke immediately. That's why I felt like when they popped the Dark Ascension to just kill off a Treant, you happily just take the trade. If you're pulse 5 and like, okay, great, you know, nice Doctor ulti to kill me, sure. Sure, bro, you know. And then they took full advantage of it by coming in with the smoke from behind, just getting the TB before the TB could have gotten any Sunder off. Well played.
I will say somebody needs to give Amku an award in terms of acting, because he was really convincing in that defense, right? How they even got the jump on the TV is because he threw an orb out to make it look like he's clearing the wave, right? Nothing suspicious, and then he actually completes the jaunt in, silences the entire backline, and that's how the rest of Thailand all just pile in for the kill. The beautifully placed Solar Guardian right on top where the puck was. So I gotta commend him, because I think Amku, someone just turning over to the mid lane, he's in trouble, but he still has a Sunder. It can't be that bad, he just needs to get the timing right. Just needs to get the timing right.
Too much stuns. He couldn't get his button off.
I don't think that was even his fault. I think that was good chain stuns from Thailand.
Yep, snowball, punch, the Starbreaker, all layered perfectly.
Oh, Nine's gonna get caught though. Chopped down by the Timber, that's what the pick is for. You got Dark Ascension on the sidelines, but Solar Guardian ready to counter, as we keep on saying. This battle is one of night and day, and whoever gets the supremacy in terms of the time is gonna come out on top. So both teams very aware of that. Thailand not gonna further push the issue.
Night Stalker turning off the light, Dawnbreaker turns on the light. Yeah. And Mac has gone for a Midas as well, you know, so he is definitely feeling like he needs to play for the late game. Play for the scaling. I mean, he's gonna have dagger. He's gonna have his dagger. He's gonna have dagger next. And Rubino, he picks up the Treant. Your mortal enemy in the whole game as Treant Protector. Every time you see the Timber, you're like, oh my god, get me out.
That is not
a good
sign. He just popped Dark Ascension to escape from 23 Savage, pressuring him with Mjolnir.
little bit of itchy finger syndrome. You know, see a hero pop ultimate. A little bit too casual.
I genuinely, I will say, I think if Mac did not pop the ultimate, I think he dies to 23 solo. And I can't tell which is worse.
Definitely dying is worse. But it also doesn't feel good.
He walked up to the...
It doesn't feel good to click the ultimate to run away.
You gotta pick the lesser of two evils here, Winter. You got no choice. Okay. I mean, you try and commit for that kill, you bring in heroes, there's still the Solar Guardian ready to ground you again, like I keep saying. I feel like this draft setup from Thailand has been phenomenal to watch, and we're seeing all the complications start to mount out for the Philippines. What can they actually do? Because even if you're talking about scaling to the late game, you need to get there, and I feel like Thailand, they are getting to these item timings really soon.
So what's their big timing here? They have BKB done on Dawn. Win has his MJ done. Yeah, they should be able to fight at any moment right now. They know Night Stalker has no ultimate. They should capitalize on this like the previous few fights. They poke the ultimate and now they smoke. Any pick-off they find is going to be very, very important for them. They can maybe get rushed after this.
Max gotta be spotted. Do they want him though? Max spots him out.
Yes, they want him. They want him.
In comes the jump. Nice shots. Comes off before the silence, and in comes the Solar Guardian. Coil's gonna break. They don't get the landing. Mac will still go down, but here's the counter initiation. Shank's gonna lift up jabs. He's in a rough spot. Solar Guardian not available, but still Falstaffing away. The kiting's real nice from Thailand, and they get away with all their heroes intact.
I mean, they can't really get rush here. I guess it's not enough. They needed more kills than one. If they get 2 kills, maybe they can just go to Roche with attack team plus focus fire. That would have definitely been possible for them. But as of right now, they have to just back off and just continue farming. I mean, all 3 cores on the Thailand side are doing really, really well. I mean, Philippines, they are not too far behind, but it feels like they are the ones chasing right now. They're gonna have Dark Ascension back up on Mac. I don't think he's going to be able to finish the BKB before they need to take another fight. Tormentor is going to spawn in a minute. They have to plan if they're going to get a good fight at Tormentor, or they're going to go for the exchange, right? The classic exchange. One side gets Tormentor, the other side gets the Roshan in 20 minutes.
Yeah. With that all being said, I will just mention that Philippines are doing quite a bit better than I expected, even with these circumstances. I thought that in this current situation, Thailand would just roll them over. Not necessarily because of skill level or what, but just the draft seems to have really skewed the game in Thailand's favor. But they've done a good job, right? They've taken down these tier 1s, like you said. They brought in full numbers to make that happen. And that opens up the map a little bit more for them than you otherwise would expect. Now Mac can farm pretty aggressively. Yes, you're still getting the advantage on the Thailand side, but with a bit more of a map to farm on Philippines. This is rather awkward, trying to chase down Mavis. Jabs will go for the other kill. They want to prioritize Shanks. That's the easier one, and Shanks gonna regret showing himself. This is one of those cases where if you're playing a pub, you say, I should have just let you die.
Sure. You can definitely say that. In pubs, all that matters is your own life, you know, because nobody else is going to carry you. You have to do everything.
I mean, you
yourself.
Sacrifice yourself in the game just for you to get pinged on your KDA when you lose. That's how it always goes, bro.
It's always the first argument when you are fighting in a game. Look at this guy trying to talk. How can you talk when you're 0-10, the classic one? 0-10, please.
Yeah, 0-10 teaching, question mark. Oh my goodness.
Man, the teaching is the classic one.
Teaching me. Here's a smoke move out though, looking to try and contest this Roche. This could be huge. This could be the turning point for the Philippines. They need to make this one count. Dark Ascension comes through. The Solar Guardian's only a momentary measure, needing to use the snowball to save Q. He's probably not long for this world.
Yes,
Will get cut down. Solar Guardian coming through. Might just buy back into this fight. They're going on to Rupido.
Stolen Solar Guardian.
He just gets stashed by Anku. Stolen Solar Guardian. But that just means that Mac, he's still daytime. He can't really climb over the cliff. Anku, he does have that Aegis, but still able to fall staff over. Will lose that burst life. Thailand scrambling for the hills here as 9. Saved thanks to that last minute living armor. The Trio Protector will survive as Anku should be able to get his way out of this one. Rupido's got a good amount of chase available. We got a 4 staff and another orb. Needs to commit, probably TP out in the tree line. Can they find him, cut him down, slow him up? And
it's a
Anku
big
goes down
kill.
a second time. That is a big set of events there for the Philippines.
And at least the only good news is they got the last hit on Roche for Thailand side. Totally overestimating how much damage they had with the tag team. They felt like they could finish the Roche before the enemy team arrived with the tag team plus focus fire, but just didn't. They just didn't have what it took. Maybe they needed one more hero there. Not so sure what actually went wrong, but they were at least, I think, 5 seconds away from finishing Roche. 3 to 5 seconds, and if they could have finished and get out and maybe just lose the support, that would have been fine. But yeah, Night Stalker just came in the nick of time to ruin the party for Thailand there.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things where I think in practice for the rest of the game, the Solar Guardian was excellent in terms of stopping Mac from having impact. But specifically in that fight, the Dark Ascension giving them extended vision really messed Thailand up. Like, the Philippines were just able to approach from the angle that suited them best. And there wasn't really much Thailand could do about it. Q already going down there was a big problem.
Yeah, just one of those things. What can you do? I think they just expected the tag team plus focus fire to kill the Roche faster. But yeah, just couldn't really get out in time. And now the game is back to, I want to say 50-50, but something is telling me that the TB is going to be a very scary hero. So he's going to finish Butterfly in a bit. This is a huge item against the Win. And the longer you go into the late game, I must say that you're probably going to feel better as a Terrorblade against the Win matchup,
I do feel like the later this game goes, even though Thailand, we talk about them scaling, it's funny how the roles have reversed, right? If anything, the Philippines lineup looks like it's going to feel pretty nice scaling into the late game in the Terrorblade, the Timbersaw especially. And Thailand, I mean, with the early advantage that they have, I don't think this game gets any easier for Puck, right? The more items you get, the easier it is for the Night Stalker to just hunt you down. You think about a Nullifier later somewhere down the line.
Yeah, I mean, you saw like the 4-star. He bought a 4-star. We had this discussion. You're saying, oh, 4-star. You just need 4-star against NS, but I'm telling you, eventually you're gonna need BKB. Like even with the 4-star, he just got ran down by the NS in the last fight. So, but it's gonna be a while. Right? He's killing Plasma. He's killing Shard.
No, I get it, right? Because the thing is, in that previous fight, we saw the limitations of the Puck. You go for a 4-star, an item that gives you net 0 damage. And your impact in these engagements, especially against the tanky heroes like Terrorblade, Timber, and Night Stalker, you're just not really doing enough. That's kind of a problem. Thailand might just run into a bit of a damage issue. They can't
This
come
is
together.
going to be a big one if they find the NS here, Mike. They're swinging him from behind with the gate.
Eyes on Mac right now. It's daytime, so he's not going to see them. Up to the high ground, Q's going to be the first one to blink. Watch for the tusk. Over the tree line, get the punch. Here's the tag team, here's the Solar Guardian. Mac has nowhere to run.
No chance. That was very nice execution. They're trying to utilize the daytime vision because they know that the NS is not going to see them from that angle. Very nicely done. And they swap sides, they pick up a core hero, and they're going to be able to continuously farm on the map. I think with the task, with the Trian, one thing you can do better than the Philippines side is the ability to find pickups, where you have the dagger on the task, you have the Trian scouting with Invis, so you have a lot more options, I would say, to find heroes, like solo heroes to pick up on the map. But at the same time, if you can use the TB to push out the waves, because TB you don't really need to show your real hero, you can always shove with your illusion, so that's going to create also a lot of problems for the Thailand side to find pickups. So it's going to be a lot of like the battle between can the Trian and task find the pickups, and can the Dawn and the Park, those are the two main heroes that has to deal with the TB speed push, or even the Timber pushing the waves here. Solar Guardian is down. So Team Philippines, they are looking for a moment to strike here.
Ku blinks into a compromising position, but
That was some crazy ass blink, I'm gonna tell you. Nobody is showing on the map. There's a Night Stalker in the game.
this is no disrespect at all. But I think this is one of those situations where being more of a player will really help them out. because the way he was moving was so random with the jaunts and stuff.
He was so
I don't think
cocky.
Philippines. Yeah, right. Like the way that he has zero respect for them whatsoever. He did not think they could be moving out. He was just kind of throwing orbs for maximum mobility instead of just being defensive. So that low-key saves him there. Made the metamorphosis to try and get this tier 2 tower. Looks like Thailand are trying to defend though. Big silence onto 2. Q's in big trouble. They try and force him away. Solar Guardian down as well. Overgrowth used Max in trouble instead. And the Night Stalkers chase too far. Here comes the rest. Shanks now. Being wound up, Timbersaw will cut down Q on the sideline, so that's at least a consolation prize, but it's a small one, and it doesn't make any of this worth it. Sure, they get the tower, but they still lose Mac, and that is a big kill for Thailand to find.
This is what I've been saying to you. The Trian is very good against the NS. The overgrowth, like you even get him during the BKB, you know. Mac was totally disabled during his BKB duration. That was his first BKB usage. And now Team Thailand, they are going to be able to farm the whole map and try to maybe even look for aggressive maneuver, right? Since they're going to have Solar Guardian up in 30 seconds. So once the task is alive, they should be trying to look for a kill here. Maybe even get a gem, you know, to reward. I think gems has it's an item that you have to buy. I would say between minute 20 to 25. Like usually you're running out of sentries, so you need a gem, and instantly the Ench is the one actually who buys the gem.
Yeah. Mavis is not an easy kill to get. We've seen that multiple times throughout this game already. So even if the Ench is the one
if
to
he
hold the
gets
gem,
focus
it would be
fire, I'm pretty sure he's dying. If,
sure, bro. I mean, if you're focus firing the Ench, you might be losing the fight. You know, I'm not sure whether you got enough damage from the rest of the boys on Philippines, but
yeah, but if you're
see how it
getting a
goes.
gem, that's a hefty reward, Mike.
you get so here's the game plan, right? That you're painting out to me. You kill the Ench with focus fire, and then you get the gem, and then 10 seconds later you lose the gem because you lose the fight. So I think it's not really a...
Do you know what is back after one kill, Mike? You don't have to chase after you get a free
Well, just
kill.
because I know it doesn't mean that these guys know it. Okay? It's a different matter whatsoever. Here comes the setup.
Oh, they see
Spot
Rupido.
Rupido, I think.
Do they want to go on him?
Rupi? Yeah. We're going through the same thought process. Yeah, I guess they're gonna try. Focus fire tag team, Solar Guardian in. He has the Lotus Orb available, but no way to get out of this
actually had the
perfect chain
damage.
stun. They had the damage, just enough at the very end there. Now Shanks will drop as well. Another +1. Jams with a double kill. Thailand looking hot.
He has two plate mills. He has a Lotus Orb and an extra plate mill, and he still dies there? What the hell? That's the sheer power of focus fire with tag team, man.
I mean, also the fact that the Mjolnir is going off, right? The chain
The
lightning
Wind
is...
did 2,000 damage in that fight. On
How
one
much of it
hero.
was from the Mjolnir as well? Obviously, he has giga ton of armor. I'm trying to see how much magic damage he did.
So are you trying to make a case that he should be buying some sort of magic resist item?
No, I'm just saying, because I'm surprised. If we're just talking about physical damage alone, I'm surprised 2 plate mills wasn't enough. That's where I'm coming from. Here comes
Oh,
the jump.
23 savage?
Having to BKB, he's fine.
Wow.
It was close
The hell?
though,
What
but he's fine.
What was that damage? Oh, that's the MKB. That's why he took so much damage all of a sudden. They didn't know the MKB on Kashi. Now they're gonna know, and at least the 23 Savage Wind didn't die to the MKB. So they're gonna know
No one
about
died
this
actually.
timing.
So Philippines
that-
basically just bought the metamorphosis for nothing.
That's a wasted timing. MKB, Meta Pop, you're not gonna get anything, and Roshan is going to spawn. This is bad news for the Philippines side.
On the bright side, they still have Dark Ascension. So if the Roche fight is going to go anything like the previous one, Philippines will stand a good chance.
Yeah, he's definitely also telling Shanks, please do not steal Solar Guardian because I can't play.
Solar Guardian is so damn good. Like, it's actually just turn the fight around. Rage power shot by Mavis there.
AC done on jabs on the Dawnbreaker. It's a huge item.
Yeah. Putting away half a plate mail worth.
Value, right? 1.4k for 10 armor.
You know, I'll be honest with you. Throughout my entire history of being a Dota 2 player, I've always felt like AC it's an okay item, but I've never thought, wow, this AC really won them the game.
You can't tell because it gives everyone armor and it reduces armor on the enemy side. So you just can't really quantify the impact of
It
the
sounds
item.
like it sounds like one of those things that's like, from me having played Dota for such a long time, I know it's good. Like, I know it's such a good item, but like, you spend 5,000 buckaroos.
Yeah, people are gonna
understand
argue, why you buy AC against TB? He's gonna copy your AC when he reflects you.
Yeah, well, that too. Then it just the ACs nullify each other out, right? Which is like then.
There's always this old saying, Mike, you do not buy aura items against illusion-based heroes like Darkseer, TB, because they're gonna get it for free.
You mean illusion-based heroes, meaning the ones that can make illusions of
Yes,
Shadow
correct.
Demon, etc.
Yeah, TB, Shadow Demon, Darkseer. And here comes the big smoke.
They got Rupido, they're gonna try again. All the
Save
playmails in the
Rupido.
world ain't gonna help you from this. You got Shivas, but that ain't gonna do shit. Here comes the Solar Guardian stolen. They're gonna try to turn things around. Jab's able to jump away though. Still has the hammer to create the distance. And Philippines, he just ain't got any stuns. A beautiful shackle onto 2 from 23 will hold back
Ow.
Philippines. And that is another Dark Ascension. Wasted for nothing.
Akashi does not love Rupido. He didn't sunder him. 23 Savage would have sundered Jabs if Jabs was playing the Timber.
Do you think so? That's the Thai Brotherhood differential right there. That's what it means to be a Thai.
Yeah,
You gotta
had
stand up.
BKB.
For your
He can
boys.
sunder the Timber and BKB and fight. I felt like that could have been a good fight for Philippines.
But that
to
would have
take.
been so scary because, like you said, Jabs has an AC and that rips away 5 of his armor. So even with the, it's too scary, Winter. It's such a value
Roche.
item. Here comes the Roche contest. Oh, 23 still snatches it. Gets over the tree line. Gets over
Where's
the
the
tree line and
Sunder?
snipes.
Where's the
God
Sunder?
damn. God
Where's the
damn.
BKB?
Did you-
Where's the Sunder? Where?
Well, he got shackled, okay? He got shackled. And maybe this is what you were saying, Winter, at the start of this series. You mentioned if you had to
Carry
compare one matchup, it's the carry diff. We see it in action right there. Beautiful set of plays there from the Wind Ranger. Getting a shackle off onto 2 key targets twice in a row and screwing over Akashi's plans of coming in with
told
cheeky
you,
Sunder.
Mike. It's like, and if your choice is between 23 Savage and Akashi, you go with 23 Savage.
Yeah,
He's
I mean,
gonna
in this
get you
particular
through
case-
the late game.
Yeah, consider 34 minutes the late game.
No, no.
It's getting you through the mid game right now, that's for sure. Akashi hasn't made it to
Yeah,
the
but
late
that
game
was
yet.
such a I feel like 2 blunders in a row. He needed to BKB before he walks in the pit. You have no idea how low is the rush. You have to just BKB and walk in. Like why would you just walk in without BKBing?
Yeah,
Like, just
I think
why?
The main problem is that whenever people are attempting Roche, you always assume that they're using some spells, right? So maybe the task is already Walrus Punch or Snowball to try and get more damage.
that's a terrible excuse. You have no
No, that's what I'm
information.
saying.
You don't know what they're doing. You don't know how
Exactly.
low is Roche. You BKB and you walk in.
Yeah,
Period.
so what I'm saying is, I think if you had knowledge, like maybe if you had an Edge Creep Scouting, something like that,
no,
I could
that's not
excuse
a
it.
good. No,
Oh, hold on.
no,
Solar
bro.
Guardian, Akashi, Nullify Dart. Oh, that's the stolen Solar Guardian. So sorry, I thought that was Jabs coming through.
Run. Do not lose the
Uncle,
gem.
Uncle, get out of there. Uncle, he's got a coil.
BKB. Wait, why did he not? Wait, what the hell? That
Wait,
was
does Mag-
that was a blunder. For sure,
Well,
that was a
Uncle's
blunder.
still probably gonna die here.
I mean, the NS for some reason he didn't BKB out the call because he had silence. If he just BKB out, I think the park was just dead initially. They didn't have the chase so far,
Dead
but
anyway.
yeah, they got him in the way in the end. But that's what we call ugly Dota, not clean.
Would you call that mid-diff? Would you say Mac is mid-diff?
No. It was a 1v5, bro. You can't say it's mid diff. 5 heroes chasing 1 hero, and the 5 heroes kill 1 hero, and you're telling me mid diff? Bro. Bro.
He's got an MKB of his own now. Just gonna go in for the initiation. Let's get him back. Shackle not gonna latch go. Max here, nighttime, blink ready. Ball. Philippines, they're hungry for something. Well, I was gonna spot 23, but not in on the run without them. Well, they're not
They're waiting for Akashi to get Skadi. Once he gets Skadi, Skadi is a big item. Very big item. very good against the wind. It's very good against the dawn. It's very good against everything. I think Skadi is like the next. It's like the next big item in the late game because all the heroes are so tanky. Skadi kind of helps against that. Everybody's buying hard and becoming extra tanky in the late game, and Skadi, I'm telling you, my Skadi is the answer to the tanks. Oh, Timber is the answer to the tanks. He
Here comes
removes
the
all the
AC
HP.
effect. Here comes the AC effect. Oh my god, I can't
Bro,
see the
look at how fast he
damage.
died.
Your Akashi is ripping them asunder right now. Jabs is gonna have to run. So will 23. Abandoning their support. They have no choice. 23 still gonna try BKB TP away. Not gonna try and bother for that one. Go for the easier kill, but it's like Jabs is gone as well.
The creep? The Rubik Guild, the creep?
I think Jabs was had BKB'd anyway, so I don't think it makes a difference.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the yield that creeps. It's just for the lulz, you know? He should have done it Ice style, drop items in front of BKB TP heroes. I dare you to change your mind. I dare you.
What is 9?
Cutting one wave of creeps. Question mark? That's a double question mark right there. Not just a single question mark, it's a double.
Just throw one question mark into the mix here. Yeah, the way this started was a little bit ambitious, right? I think that maybe past the point that they can burst Rapido down. Perhaps if he was alone, sure, but this location is quite a compromising one. You can see here, Philippines ready to respond in full force. Push the entirety of Thailand away, right? Nothing. Yeah, that's what I got. You gotta do it anyway out of frustration.
Okay, fair enough.
You need to set an example. You say, yeah, you better BKB. This could have been you. See this sad little fool stuck up in the air? You think you can just TP your way out without magic immunity? Alright. Jokes aside though, we are reaching the stage in the game where the Terrorblade is very much online. We were talking about carry div, joking about all that, but when 23 Savage commits into the fight, he can't actually run into the Terrorblade.
He can't.
The Metamorphosis.
I think you're probably gonna need, even if you get Aghanim's on Wind and Satanic, I feel like you can never fight the TV at all.
You almost, I want to say, need to rely on your team to
He
lock
might
him
be
down.
carry diffing Akashi, but in terms of hero matchup late game, he doesn't have the hero matchup.
And that's the benefit of last pick that Philippines had, and next that's why we talked about this Terrorblade being a good one. If not going to be successful, looks like he will be fine. Focus firing onto Mavis, that's not going to work out. Or his punch out, but yeah, they just, without the focus fire, honestly don't have the damage to finish off Akashi. Q will try and survive the last hit. Wow, that was 30
How is he
HP.
alive?
Q gets
Ow.
away on a sliver right there.
The Essence Ring, leading armor, everything helping him to survive. Jabs was like,
Was the AC
I'm not
there?
even-
Question mark? Was
I'm
the
not
AC?
even going to Solar Guardian to save you, buddy. You're just gonna die.
No, bro, there was no Dark Ascension. He's not Solar Guardian unless there's a Dark Ascension. Made that clear. I will say that Shanks repeatedly stealing the Solar Guardian despite Max protests probably is still quite It's just too good of a spell, right? Like, if it's right in front of you, you gotta grab it.
Can't argue with that, Mike. Solar Guardian is definitely one of the best spells. I think outside of Solar Guardian, maybe the Overgrowth is another spell I would want to steal.
Yeah. You're talking about, teamfight ultimates. I think in general, you're looking at its Power Shot. Orb is a lot of good damage.
Power
Just damage
Shot
as well.
Orb. That is the classic greedy farming root position for Rubik plays. I'm telling you. Guys, I have Power Shot now. I'm going to be off the farming.
It's not like I hate them.
I'm not a hater. I'm just saying what it is, you know. I'm sure
He has,
everybody
he has Orb now, okay? It's the best of both worlds. You can clear the creep wave and you can jaunt in and get the swing.
Does it go further because of your Arcane Supremacy?
That is a great question. I don't think so because there's a well, it looks like it because right now, if I'm looking at the Pulse Arcane Orb, the radius of the orb itself is 225, but the max distance is 1950.
So the max
Rubik's
distance
orb is also
doesn't-
max. There's a max distance here.
So the distance doesn't increase, but the radius does.
Yeah. Because curiosity only gives AoE bonus. It doesn't give range.
No, I'm talking about
Then-
Arcane Supremacy, the passive. It gives cast range on Arcane Supremacy.
Do you think that influences like how far the orb can start? Because when
Yeah, that's what I'm
orb-
asking, bro. That's what I'm asking.
Oh, I thought you meant like how far it goes in max distance.
I mean,
Let's see.
it doesn't
For
seem
now,
like
it still looks like he's kind of blasting
the
it out
same.
of his body.
Yeah, it's the same. It doesn't change. I think it only increases the radius, the damage radius. That's all.
This episode of Go to Myth Plus.
It's not a myth.
Oh, 23. No, but it's like, what the hell is this initiation?
The man, the
That was
myth, the legend,
awkward.
23 Savage is running away the moment Q thinks it. He sees the NS and he's like, okay, sorry Q, goodbye. I hope you have buyback.
Bro, with how fast he ran away, I don't even think you heard him say sorry. He was already gone. The sound of the sorry was overlapped by how fast his feet were hitting the ground running.
Imagine if you're playing support and your carry just abandons you the moment he sees another hero. It's not a feeling that you want to have. Your first thought that comes to your mind, do I even feel like I'm valuable to my core? It feels like he's just ditching me the moment he sees another hero show up, you know? It doesn't even try to save me.
It's a give and take, right? So, you know how
What's the give and take,
you
bro?
abandon. No, listen to me. You abandon him in the game, and then when he doesn't have a team, you bring him into your. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit of a trade-off.
That's not the same.
That has historically already been demonstrated by 23 Savage with many of his.
Isn't that because of the Thai friendship? That's not because.
It's because of the contractual sacrifice that they have. He was always down to give his life out. That's why 23's like, alright, brother. Congratulations, welcome to the team.
So the first criteria to join a 23 Savage team is whether you're willing to put your body on the line to sacrifice yourself.
Hey, look,
in
that's
the
not what
game.
I'm saying. I'm just saying that's the Q and 23 connection right there. We saw it demonstrated. I'll be real with you. I don't know whether Jabs would put his life on the line for 23 Savage.
Yes, he will.
You think so?
Only for 23 Savage, not any other carry.
Everyone else, he's like, my game.
I'm the carry. You please step aside. I'm the carry. You know that's why he's playing Dawnbreaker. Dawnbreaker is the carry hero. Look at his
Nothing to do
items:
with the fact that
AC,
he combos out the
harpoon,
entire-
abyssal blade, and now he's hexed
He
up.
got. Oh, he's dead.
No, he's
dead?
not
Come on.
dead. He's alive.
But they didn't commit for it. I thought they were gonna run it a little bit more.
Oh, Shackle.
Nice Shackle. Not a lot of damage though on Takashi. He's surviving. Trying to
Where's
get
the
the Sunder off. Will be able to get the Satanic on top of that. And they are not killing Akashi now. He is life stealing up back to full. And the damage from this Terrorblade, it's overwhelming. Thailand, they tried their damn best there, but they just couldn't knock down the big bad Terrorblade. And all of that comes back down to Shanks and his stolen spells. I mean, he did such an amazing job there, turning the tides around, lifting, glimmering, keeping Akashi safe. With all of that,
Overgrowth, man. He stole the overgrowth.
yeah.
He was the hero. He was the
All of them
hero
were
of the
standing
fight.
there looking like
Akashi
fools.
did not even have to use Sunder in the fight somehow. Just a Satanic.
Kind of badass that Akashi didn't even Sunder. I
Yeah,
thought for
bro,
sure
I
he was
can't
gonna
believe
die.
he didn't Sunder. I actually can't believe it.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at it. I'm like, he's gonna die? Question mark. And then he just goes up back to full HP. But yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's not the
overgrowth played
overgrowth.
such a big part there.
And now he Sunders. Now he's. What the hell, man?
Only defensive Sunders. But yeah, Philippines.
I think
What a
only
blink-
Sundering CM. His Sunder is only for CML.
Yeah. Because you know CML can get that HP back.
I'm sure that's the reason.
I mean, all of this has been phenomenal, honestly, from the Philippines side, right? They were down in the early game. They were getting out-tempoed, outplayed by Thailand in some of these fights, but they figured out a way around it. The way that they're taking the fights now that they've reached this late game, a lot more convincing. Suddenly this Solar Guardian doesn't seem to hinder Mac quite as much because the rest of Philippines are just strong enough to take the fight anyway.
I mean, they're at the point where they just can't really kill the TV. They don't have damage for him. This is the carry-to-carry matchup. The game goes late TV against the win. You're gonna have a lot of damage problems. Like it's not even just the TV. I think even the Timber is pretty difficult to kill at this stage. Like the Puck is just not ahead. Like look at the Puck snap up, you know. He's not ahead enough. He's supposed to be that secondary damage hero, but he's just not there enough.
Tries to stick around the corner, break the smoke, but instead
Hex.
he might have just
23.
broken the back of Thailand. Hex
He needs
out
a
onto
snowball.
23 Savage. He needs
Q.
to get out. Someone help him. Q, he
Help.
needs some sort of sacrifice. Q's going over the Rapido instead. You got a Yules up, keeping the Wind Ranger in place. And the rest of Thailand, they just have to run because they don't have the damage to take this fight. Jab's now trying to TP away with his BKB. You got a bash? No, you don't. Thailand will be able to escape with their lives for the most part. Still with the chase on, Mac not going to let Q run. They're turning onto 23 Savage. He's putting out some damage for now. They don't have a way of chasing on for more, but actually Rapido will be the one to blink in another Hex. Akashi laying the kids out onto Amku, having the John forward. They focus down 23, and he's just gone. The Puck will fall as well once he comes out of this phase shift. They have a silence
GG.
waiting right for him. GG is called Thailand. It was an amazing first 15 to 20 minutes for them, but honestly, it feels like everything started up from them. So Myanmar, of course, coming into this bracket after defeating New Zealand yesterday. So they are on a pretty good tear. We can talk a lot more about this Myanmar team.
Wait, they're getting rid of the Oceania teams, right? They're beating New Zealand now. They're 1-0
Myanmar
against
handling all of them. Myanmar is like, leave Oceania to me. I'll just make this back to Southeast Asia. Don't worry about it. But of course, let's keep our eyes set on Thailand versus Philippines here. This one could end in a flash if they are not careful on the Philippines side, right? Like you said, kind of feels like roles reversed a little bit where Philippines now, they're the greedier lineup, I want to say, but then they also have that late game scaling. Actually, no, what am I saying? It's not roles reversed, it's kind of the same thing, where they've put Akashi on their late game insurance, and the rest of their heroes are a bit more tempo / in the middle.
They have to make so much space. It's like a classic 4 protect. I don't know if it's a 4 protect one, but it's kind of similar to the old days where we call this a 4 protect 1 strat. I mean, the thing is, Puck needs to farm so much. He's not a. I feel like he's just another carry.
Yeah.
The bat is the one that needs to make a lot of space. You know, if Rupido needs to do well at the start of the game, win his lane. They need to get gang with the Phoenix. I mean, this is a primary thing you have to be looking out in the early game. If the Phoenix can actually get gang and unlock the Bat Rider. If Bat Rider is unlocked in the early game, he gets a couple of kills. He kills the tier 1 tower quickly. He snowballs. He gets his items quickly. Then I can see the PL getting the space he needs to get to the late game. But if that does not happen, they're going to be playing a very slow game that is not going to be very, very nice for them. The Tide is going to pressure them a lot because he's unkillable for the most part.
Yeah. A lot of Team Thailand's game is gonna...
Yeah, how are they taking down this Waterman? I just don't see how, you know. The moment he gets reps, he gets some magic resist, he's not dying.
Yeah.
The Silver Age is like, I don't know, like post 30 minutes item for PR. I don't know if you can get it any earlier. I mean, I might be wrong. You know? I'm not sure what is the best build for PR at the moment. I know Aghanims is kind of like a must. You get Aghanims, then you get Manta. I mean, both of those items. Then maybe the third item can be Silver Age. But that's going to take a while.
Yeah, I think that's the primary question I have as well. Maybe it's because we haven't seen too much PL in Tier 1 Dota 2. It's just, you kind of ask yourself the question, what does this hero do? I feel like in the past, before the Diffusal Blade change, it made a lot of sense, right? You can just kind of burn their mana, slowly take a drawn-out fight, wear everyone out of resources, and win that way. This new PL feels like it takes a bit more time to want to get involved. Yeah, I'm being generous.
A lot more time, bro.
Yeah. But then I feel like depending on the draft, sometimes in the late game, it's not like it auto wins either. Right? You think about a late game situation versus the Muerta, like, yes, you can argue that the rest of Philippines should have the magic damage, but in a carry-to-carry matchup, if Muerta pops Pierce the Veil, I don't think there's anything Akashi can do.
Kite. You kite the Pierce the Veil, you don't fight the Pierce the Veil.
Okay.
That's the best thing PL offers in the game, kiting. One of the best kiters in terms of the carry heroes. You want to take long, very drawn out fights, you want to go in, go out, regen if you have a heart, and just slowly poke the enemy down. Once the Pierce the Veil is over, that's when you're gonna take control of the fight.
Yeah. I guess it benefits Philippines in that sense. You look at Thailand's lineup, there are very one big giant missile shot at you.
Yeah,
in
the
one,
fight needs to end right away. Like the moment you're jumping with the Thai, you Ravage, you want to win the fight there. You know, if you Ravage and use Overgrowth and the fight is not over, you're screwed.
Could you maybe afford to play a bit more of a poke and prod style with Thailand? Perhaps like, because your Void Spirit can go in and out. Your Rubik can do a soft commit lift into a Fate Bolt, maybe a Stolen Spell, and then back up as well. And then your Tide, of course, can always buy Aghanim's.
Yeah, you can definitely do that for sure.
That might be a bit more viable.
But there's a time limit. I still think that the expiration of the lineup is like anything post 40 minutes is just gonna be hard for them to deal with the PR. I think the first 30 minutes, 35 minutes is going to be possible for the Thailand side to do that, but after it gets to a certain point where PL gets about 3-4 items, then it's going to be very hard. The moment the tide
items on the PL's gonna take a while though.
Yeah, the moment the tide is killable, I think the game is gonna swing towards the Philippines' favor. But until that happens, Thailand is always going to be in control of the game.
Is it only Silver Edge? Do you think that's gonna make that happen? Because in my mind, I feel like
Kanda?
maybe Sunray could help as well.
It's Sunray is magic damage. The moment you get the reps, it's not so easy to kill the tide.
Still percentage HP, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean it's nice, you know, but if you talk about Sunray, how reliable is it for a position 5 hero to cast Sunray during the team fight against Ravage, against the Silence from Muerta? That's like every hero has a way of cancelling Sunray. Like
well, you can't cancel the Sunray if it comes out of the egg, brother.
Okay, Mike. Okay,
I'm putting
then
the
they just
pieces
need to
together.
hit the egg. Then they just need to hit the egg, man.
Okay, well, if they're hitting the egg, then they're not necessarily dealing with the rest of the easy. It's all coming together.
Mike. There is a way. There is a way for the Phoenix to Sunray and kill off
my
the
goodness.
Tide.
Is Rupido dead?
He's fine, but maybe he wish he's dead. Okay, he has the South.
That was kind of ambitious from Shanks there, trying to step up and maybe contest, just gets shot in the head. The frog gets blasted.
It's still a very powerful lane, you know. Treant Protector with Muerta.
Oh, sure.
You don't mess with these two heroes in laning phase.
I will say that, especially as a support, the laning of Largo really depends on his partner. I think in any other situation, maybe you could argue that bad Largo's pretty scary, because you got a decent amount of magic damage to keep them in place, but Treant Protector and Muerta are just too strong.
They need to wait for the Phoenix to come through the gates, my friend. Because he can't do anything to Tide, and it's nighttime soon. Phoenix is level 3. It's time to go through the gates and visit your friends across the state.
A bit of a summer holiday.
Summer holidays? It's at night though. Nighttime in Dota is not a summer holiday.
There's night times in the summer. There's not a lot of it.
I mean, if you go to Sweden during summer, there is no nighttime.
Oh, that's true.
Actually, not summer. During winter, the sun is always up.
Mavis will get run down here. That is certainly awkward. That will delay any semblance of a gate move. As Akashi now on the run. You talk about the mid game or maybe even the early game where the Tide is unkillable. 5 minutes into the game, it already feels like jabs can't be moved away from.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like the PR. Felt like it's giving the Tide too much room for maneuvering in the early game. Like he has no threat, literally. Nobody can kill him in a game in the early game.
I think something that we discuss a lot about Winter whenever we cast together is, you know, when you're drafting core heroes, especially the side lanes, it's important to enable the spots as well, right? I feel like this PL pick, it doesn't really do much for the Phoenix, if at all, anything in the lane. So you're just kind of leaving the Phoenix to his own devices because you can't do anything to the Tide. I think maybe if you pick something else that could be a bit more aggressive, then you might be looking at a kill lane with the Phoenix, because Phoenix can put out a lot of damage by himself.
You're looking at like something like an Ursa, something to kill the Tide.
Yeah, perhaps. That could be good. And this early game very much going Team Thailand's way. I'm pretty sure Thailand very happy about that. The mid lane matchup also seems skewed towards Amku's favor. This is something that, of course, he picked the Void Spirit into the Puck, apart from being a later game counter. Typically, I feel like the Puck does decently in the lane, but trailing behind already. Not by a lot though, but still.
I mean, overall, I would say Void Spirit should have a little bit of a CS advantage. Because you have a better, like your melee hero, you can deny last hit better. Like usually you should have a little bit of an edge, but Puck is like, it's okay, Like the main reason why Void Spirit is picked into Puck is not just for the lane, but it's, you get used if you want. You can catch him with the used remnant, or you can get the Aghanim's. Aghanim's is what kind of like the silence kind of punishes the Puck, like that makes the Puck killable in the game.
I mean, to be honest, the two silencers in this game from Thailand are going to be very good, right? Everyone of Philippines is gonna suffer big time if they get told to shut up.
This early game has been going splendidly. Both of the side lanes are going really well for Thailand. Mid lane is kind of like also going quite well. Like they're winning all three lanes, so you can see that they are already slowly but surely amassing a sizable lead. Even though it's just 8 minutes in the game.
Yeah, this gate move that we talked about with the Phoenix, it just
didn't
really
happen.
has never happened, right? And I feel like the timing window for that has closed.
It's over, man. The bat is not enabled, and I feel like this game is going to be super hard for Philippines. It looks like we might be having one foot into a game 3, at this point. With the start, the game has already shown. It's going to be a very hard game for Team Philippines. An uphill battle from here.
As John away from Mac preserving his own life there, but room control very much on Thailand's side. Amku able to snag away that shield rune and perhaps look for action towards the top lane. The Philippines need to be cautious at this juncture. They need to find a way to just stabilize, get the farm up, especially on their Bat Rider, because Rapido, I mean, he is known for being a pretty terrifying Bat Rider, at least regionally. This game, he's got nothing going on for himself. I thought for sure that the Largo Bat would be a bit more scary, but at 23 Savage, I mean, he knows something about this matchup that we don't, because he's looking very comfortable on the more at the top of the net worth by a full 1k ahead of the next best hero.
I mean, I just feel like the Phoenix not going there. The bottom lane to enable the bat is like the big part of the downfall here. He had a chance to go at 4 minutes, but he just chose to stay in the lane to fight, and then he got killed. And then now he has no chance to go to the bot lane, because 33 Savage is already level 7. He has a way to survive with the pistol here. So there's no more moves that you can make. And mid lane is kind of like also a difficult lane to go and gank. You can't really kill the Void Spirit. So they're doing the next best thing, which is trying to steal stacks.
Yeah, but you're trying to steal stacks with a Phoenix Puck. I mean, this magic damage is not going to do quite a lot into the
And that's the only thing they
pools.
can do right now. I think this is the best.
I mean, James is going to come over and clean up the last hits. So he's going to say, thank you very much for sending your spells over. I'll now take all the gold that you were trying to steal away from us. Yeah, this is perfect here for Thailand. I don't think they could have dreamed up a better start for themselves. Amku with another rune for himself, Invis. All you can really do is try to sap the XP. Amku's on the hunt though. Invis. Gonna get run down slowly but surely. One last hit. Amku will find it, not even needing to expend mana further than that.
They're just like sitting ducks on the Philippine side. They cannot really do anything because of the nature of the lineup and how the early game has played out. Bat Rider is your playmaking hero and he has no game. The only thing you can hope for is the enemy team diving past tier 1, then you can TP with the Puck to coil and get some kills, But if that ain't happening, I don't really see much moves the team Philippines side can make as of right now. Their gate ganking, I mean, he came through the gate to place a wall on the Phoenix, but that's pretty much it. There's not much they can do. The Tide is working towards the reps. He's going to be literally unkillable. He's already even, I feel like, unkillable now.
I feel like he's been unkillable since the start of the game. I don't think I've seen a point in time, at least in these past 11 minutes, where I thought, oh no, Jams is gonna die.
That's why the last pick was just like bad, the PL. Like, it just doesn't really give them a way to play the early game. Like, if they had like some gyrocopter, some Ursa, something to kill the Tide, I mean, I don't know how much longer they can last if the game is going in this trajectory. The goal lead is just going to pile up. They're going to take all the map away from Team Philippines. Tide is going to be unkillable. He's already unkillable. You're going to lose Roche. You're going to lose all the objective commander. And can you come from behind, in a 10k deficit if you're the PR? That's going to be the huge question. How much time you need for the PR to be able to solo carry this game?
Hard to imagine how Philippines will manage to hold off Thailand for now. Start of the coil, Amku's in, nice egg in the middle, but that is an egg destined to go splat. No chance of survival there. Now Overgrowth, Ravage, everything thrown out to try and burst down Akashi. Able to dash away to the side onto the Treant Protector. Akashi is actually staying sustained thanks to the Largo, but Shanks is fresh out of mana. The question is whether it's enough. So far they've repelled both supports on Thailand, overextending a little bit on the Thailand side, and now Amku might get run down as well. He's got himself a Yules, another Astral Set and a Resonant Pulse to work with. Still held in place though. Getting a bit risky with it. He did not immediately jump. I feel like he could have survived there, but he ends up going down. And like you mentioned, a big blunder from Thailand.
Even the initial goal is stacking the Overgrowth with the Ravage there. I felt like there was a moment they were able to kill off the puck. I think they just hesitated. He jumped out, he already used John, he already used Phase Shift. So if you root him there, the Tide would have been able to follow up on the Ravage. We're gonna maybe see it here. Okay, he already got out on the puck. I felt like they had a moment to kill the puck before this. They killed the egg, but here I also felt like the root was used a little bit too quickly. He could have just waited until the last moment, waited for the Doppelganger to come out from the PL. They just didn't have their spells casted well here, and then towards the end, Kill, like you said, he could have lived. He had a step coming off here. Yeah, he had a step. I think the Frog Storm cancelled the animation, so he couldn't really get up.
I think what was kind of confusing to me is he also had Resonant Pulse, right? So he could have very much just popped it at any point, but maybe just holding on to it to try and get the maximum amount of shields from more heroes. I feel like that small little barrier might have allowed him to live, but as hindsight is, as they like to say.
Hindsight is always 50-50, right?
Hey, wait, isn't it 2020?
Oh, yeah, 20.
Yeah, I thought you were trolling. Okay, bit of a fight here. No lasso, because you are silenced up and killed. Beautiful bait there from the Treant Protector, pulling in the Frog and the Bat. Hunted down. Shank's still pretty quick on the feet though. That's what the hustle does to you, but still hunted down by Q on his stolen orb. So overall, Thailand regaining some footing here after a bit of a stumble in the top side. Back to regular business.
I mean, still that gave away so much gold, for the PR. The PR got so much from that previous fight. Now he has the Manta gun and he has a way to, keep pushing the waves. I mean, can Team Thailand here still accelerate the game fast enough to finish the game before the PR becomes a problem? They have a 4k lead, but at the same time, you cannot let your foot off the gas. You have to keep continuously pressure, taking away areas. At least make sure that the PR has a limited amount of space on map to farm.
I will say one thing I didn't expect from this Philippines lineup is how much sustain the PL has. Just now, earlier in that fight show, I think he had a big one as well as a Lotus, but he healed up from like maybe 20% HP back to 60%, and then Shanks was just pumping the gas on the Island Elixir the whole time. So the amount of AoE healing that you're getting with that plus the Sunray, kind of a big deal. Thailand, they might run into a situation where apart from the Muerta, they don't have a lot of damage on their heroes.
No, Mike. That fight was just basically they messed up their spells. If they landed their spells that the heals are not going to be a problem. They just stack their spells badly.
Okay.
I think they have a lot of damage with the Muerta. They have a lot of damage with the other heroes right now. They just need to coordinate better. I think similar problem in the last game when their coordination was off. When it came down to the team fights, the Roshan and everything, the macro play, I think they just didn't really have what it took, during crucial moments of the first game and in the second game so far as well, making a very big mistake in the dire jungle, top jungle. Lucky for them, they have a sizable lead, so they have room to make some mistakes, but at the end of the day, you're playing against a PR, you're on a timer. If the PR gets to the stage where he has 5 items, you're gonna have a PR problem. I think the problem begins the moment he gets the Silver Edge. So 3 items. Manta, he's going Manta Butterfly. Okay, Manta Butterfly, that is not what I expected. So Manta Butterfly into Silver Edge, I guess.
Yeah, the Butterfly is interesting because I think it helps your survivability versus the Muerta a little bit. But it feels to be more like a full greed aggressive item, right?
Yeah, it's so greedy though, right?
It's absurdly greedy.
Does he help the hero farm faster?
I don't know. Okay, what's the alternative? Like the Silver Edge?
The axe, because I know the axe helps you farm also because it increases the charge distance, so I know it allows you to farm. I don't know which item helps you to farm more, the Butterfly and the Aghanim's. Obviously Butterfly is more expensive. I don't play this hero, Mike, so you cannot really rely on my information.
Trying to think about the angle for the Butterfly. I guess it really just amps the hero up to
maybe it's
the
just
next
a farming
level.
item. It's just a farming item. You want to get to a stage where you have Manta, Butterfly, and Silver Edge. I'm not sure if that's the main reason because it's rather. I feel like it's rather expensive as a second item here. So your team is not going to be able to fight with you for the next foreseeable 10 minutes, at least 10 to 15 minutes.
I mean, we say that, but Akashi did show up to the previous fight, even though all he had was a Manta. So maybe he feels like
he was
it's not
supposed
really
to die. Bro, he was supposed to die there. I mean, you can show up, but showing up and doing something is a different thing, right? You can show up, but if you're not doing anything, what's the point of showing up?
True.
I'll just, show up to class without bringing in my assignments, does that count as showing up? I don't know.
Well, if you go in there, mark attendance, still counts for something.
Yeah, that's what I call a mark attendance, I'm just coming to the team fight to mark, hey guys, I showed up, alright?
Yeah.
You have no excuse of saying that your carry did not show up to the fight, even though you did nothing, absolutely
zero. I was physically here. Did I cast a single spell? No, but I did show up.
Yeah, I show up more than anti-mage. Anti-mages only show up if you can get clean up mana boy kill.
What? Why did Mavis still go in there? I thought the fight was over. Okay, that was weird.
Yeah, so the fight is definitely over now.
Yeah, I thought that... Okay, let me check this Puck's items. Puck did not have any defensive items, so I thought maybe 9 could just straight overgrowth the Puck and keep him in place for the Muerta calling.
Yeah, because when you overgrowth, right, you can cast Phase Shift, but you cannot get the John. You cannot move with John or Waning.
Yeah. So if my thought is that if the Treant Projector overgrowths, you Phase Shift, right?
Yeah,
and then the Muerta just layers the calling on it.
Yeah, I kind of feel like he's not really sure if he can kill the Puck. Like the previous fight, I think it's the same issue. He could have definitely overgrowth the Puck after the Phase Shift and just kill him there, because you cannot move with the Orb and the Waning Wave. Like these are things you have to play. You have to play this type of matchup a couple of times to know the feeling. There are certain matchups when you're playing support, like Puck is a very elusive hero. Normally you won't be able to kill him. But there are certain heroes like Treant, like Disruptor or Silencer, you can actually kill the Puck, when he makes some mistakes in the early game. And if you don't have the experience, you don't have enough experience playing the matchup, you wouldn't have the instinct to actually go for the kill.
If you don't understand the full limitations of the matchup, you're not going to even consider those.
You're not even going to look for it.
The picture of it is not even in your head that you could kill this Puck, so you'll never use the overgrowth for that purpose.
Yes, precisely. Like that was very well explained. Bravo.
I completely understand it because I think that sometimes it happens from like the perspective of like, let's say we're watching a pro team, right? And obviously we're not at the same skill level of these players. I think it's very easy to
What
look
do
at
you
them
mean,
and
Mike?
point
We are
and
all
say,
pro players. We are all pro players in our hearts.
right, yeah. Who knows better? A guy who has played multiple tier 1 events across his entire 3 to 4 year career, or me at home playing my Southeast Asian
Of course,
Master
it's you,
Answers player.
the casual
Yeah.
Redditor.
The casual Twitch chatter, the casual YouTube stream watcher. We see you.
Roche
We
fight
know you're
again.
good.
Volume
Has to
2,
be risky.
Episode 2, Roche fight.
I thought they're
This
gonna have a
went
bit of
wrong.
PTSD from this one there.
This went wrong for Team Thailand the last game. Can they do it right this time?
That's why they're being so apprehensive, right? They saw one orb and they've all immediately backed off. The only person left in the pit is Jabs, Mr. Unkillable himself. Tad unfortunate here. Looks like Thailand are having some FPS or maybe some lag issues. The upside is that Rupido has his Blink Dagger and Drums finish, so he's going to be a bit more of a fighting force in this game compared to his early start, which was rather rough. I see it reflected in his net worth. I mean, he's barely tipping over the Rubin in terms of net worth. That's not where you want to be on an off-lane back.
Here we go, they're trying to look for an angle. They have a ward in the Ancients. They see the positions of the certain heroes. I think they see the bat, or they don't. They see the Phoenix. Yeah, they see the Phoenix and the bat. They're gonna make a jump here. This Largo is a pretty good kill. It's a pretty good kill. A yum fish for the Thai
And that
hunter.
is really unfortunate there for Shanks because he might have been able to survive if he retreated to the left, but because he didn't know they had vision of him, just runs up straight into Arm Crew, ends up giving over a very
And this Thai Ravage is such a big spell right now too. It's so hard to fight into. They're layering the silence behind. They get a good egg.
beautiful Ravage. Jabs times it perfectly. They get a good egg, but it still goes flat, and Philippines fall flat on their faces.
Alright, I think that's going to be full control for Team Thailand. For the next, I said 10 minutes, the PL needs 10 minutes, but I think right now he needs 20 minutes after this fight. Bro, the Thai Ravage just picture perfect. You know, the moment the Park John Lee to try to steal the Aegis, the Ravage comes up right on his face.
Even without the Ravage, I think 23 Savage actually layered that silence perfectly. Because both the Phoenix and the Puck ended up right on top of a Wraith, so the only thing they could do, even if the Ravage didn't come out in that situation, was try and spam click the Aegis and snatch it away, but 23 Savage, he has that one on lock, and now he has a fresh Aegis to help himself out
They
with his
didn't have
push.
the shot on the Phoenix. Like you say, the shot on the Phoenix, if you cast the Sun Ray in the egg, you can't be countered.
I think especially around the Roche Pit, there are some angles that you can dive into, or some cliffs, where you're like in between vision, right? It makes it very difficult to actually snipe the egg down. So,
But didn't they change it? You can't. Nothing gives vision into the Roche Pit now. Not even NSLT. I think it's the
yeah,
recent
so what I'm saying is like if he flies in, but then he kind of eggs right outside the Roche Pit, it's very hard for them
But
to
does
hit.
it give? But does it still give you vision into the pit if you do that?
Oh, I think it's less about giving the vision. I think it's more about the AoE damage and maybe like if he had the shard, the Sun Ray comes out, right? Because as we can see here, Mavis, he very much has the goal. He's just going a bit greedier, straight for that Hex. You imagine maybe something like the shard will allow him to keep his distance a bit more in the fight. And
It's also the damage, you know, not just keeping distance. They need an extra bit of damage in the fight. They don't have enough right now. Largo is low damage hero. Bear Rider kind of also is low damage hero. The damage takes time to ramp up. So Punk is your only real damage. FPL doesn't do jack shit until later.
Oh, this is nice. Q stolen the Amphibian Rhapsody, so can just either use the Island Elixir or I assume Hot Feet Hustle just to keep himself going.
So what, do you get more heal when you get it as Ruby?
I don't think spell does it? No.
Doesn't Ruby
No,
make
it's a
everything
flat.
better?
I think it's a flat amount of healing. Wait, let me check the numbers again. No, the numbers are flat. So Island Elixir 34 healing per level.
Okay.
Rupido's gonna get caught here. Still
Why
sticky
did you
over
change
Island.
your spell?
Why did he change his
Why
spell?
did he change, bro? Was it ending? Sticky neck arm, damn.
Now that's a spell that gets spell amplified. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. A little bit.
If you still have the vision, I would say this is an okay spell to steal, but right now it seems like one of the most terrible spells to have on Rubik. Support Rubik, especially. You know, whenever you get this spell, you have fun using it on heroes that have like a huge turn rate.
Uncle here, the setup. Get pulled in. Shot
turning
down.
into his
Very,
death.
very easy setup. Nice lasso though,
Like,
but
the man
there's still
has
the
Aegis.
Aegis. We gotta remember, and the Pierce the Veil. And look at that! His big friendly watermelon's coming over to try and help him out. 23 Savage standing his ground and fighting. Shanks dropping low. Savage
Oh,
won't be able
dead.
to walk this one off. Last bit of damage
he's
will
dead
drop.
now.
Okay, that was awkward. I feel like he had a Hurricane Pike to maybe push himself further, but saving it for the respawn. Not even gonna need it. So a lot committed here from Philippines just to bring down the first life of the Thailand carry. And now Thailand can get straight back to pushing. Still got the Ravage to
guess
work
what?
with.
Thailand carry has 2 lives. He does not care, Mike.
So true.
Is the PR ready to fight? Oh my god, he's buying Academics now? How are they supposed to kill the Tide?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the angle is. I don't really see it. He's sending as many illusions as he can to try and mess up this group wave. But
He needs to kill everyone else but the Tide.
they're going for a big wraparound play right now. Not sure whether Thailand will see this one coming, but they are up to the high ground. They don't see anyone from the Philippines. Akashi's going to try and cut the creep wave, get a maybe cheeky courier kill while he's at it. So that will suspend the push from Thailand. Decent bit of map play there. Maybe would have liked to see
They need to buy time.
Oh, the smoke gets spotted out. Nice lane ward. Finds it. Puck's gonna come through and break that. They should know they're being spotted here.
Hey, I don't know what's the idea here, you know. There's no way of killing the Tide. If he's not itemizing for a Silver Edge, there's 0 way. Like, Tide is not a hero that they can target at all with this build.
Not just that, but look at Amku. He's playing so aggressive, knowing he's got the shield rune. Jumps straight into a bunch of heroes and looking for actually a pick off here. It's just jabs on the front line, like you said. Nothing they can really do about him. They need to go
I feel
around
like
him.
he can literally stand in the tier 4s and not die, you know. He can just stand in front of them. Okay, maybe not the tier 4s, you know, but I mean, you get the picture, you know. He's just not killable in a normal situation. He needs to do something so horrendously wrong to die. Like, take his
that being
hands off the
said, though,
keyboard.
I think that, oh, hang on. Maybe a little bit of a pick off here. Need a lick out. Mac, silence the second time. Off the mark there
Wait, they
with
didn't
the...
ravage him? Okay.
I don't think they had the time for it. Because he doesn't have a blink or the move speed to get in range. So
Yeah, I guess.
I feel like Mac would have jogged us.
No sharp
gonna
as
get
well.
down. Rest in peace, Rupido. Yeah, this Bat Rider's getting coached this game. Even though Rupido is really, really solid on the bat, unfortunate this game, I feel like he just can't quite show it.
Yeah, but on the bright side, they are not really getting a very, very big net worth, you know. Still, you know, I think 9k, 9k is still like a manageable deficit for the PL.
Yeah.
They're still doing a good job on the Team Philippines side, farming the map, pushing the waves, making sure that they get the scaling they need to get into the late game. I don't know if they're going to have time for it to happen, but they're in the right direction.
Sure. That being said though, you can tell that Thailand don't want to give Philippines any time whatsoever. They're doing their best to shove and force the issue. And meanwhile, Philippines, you can see with both the puck and the PL just consistently cutting the waves, trying to stop the push from happening.
I mean, there's a catapult wave, you know. You're not killing the catapult with their heroes. This is one lane of X down. There's no... I don't see any way of them approaching this fight. It just feels like there's no plan. They just want to split and farm, but there's no really a clear plan. What item do we need to get on the PL before we are able to fight? You know, it just doesn't feel like they had a conversation about how do we kill this Tide.
That's the most curious thing, because you imagine that when they are considering this last pick, they see the Tide already. You have to be imagining that they're asking Akashi, okay, what do you want versus the Tide?
He has the X now, but I still don't see how they can kill the Tide. Like how?
I mean, for now, his plan seems to be sending illusions at them to do 0 damage.
It's just giving him a foot massage.
Well, there's the magic damage we were asking for. The rest of Philippines certainly can pack a punch if it's not the PL. Having to be a bit more careful there on 23 Savage without his second life.
Do they have the time, Mike? He needs another 10 minutes.
I mean, this is starting to get annoying, right? Because the PL can just keep keep sending illusions to deal with this creep wave. And 23's always got to be careful. Big Ravage out. They've missed completely. They thought they found the real Akashi. They found the choreo of a gem, I guess. Okay. That was awkward.
That's not too bad. That's actually not too bad. Getting the gem.
Now they found the real Akashi. Silence off the mark. Armku having to run. Retreat back. Swing and miss there. Thailand having to take a chill pill a little bit.
I got really lucky the courier came in at the same time. Not too bad overall, getting the gem. 2 minutes on cooldown on the Ravage right now. Roshan is up. So they're probably... This is their last, I feel like, chance to contest this Roche. If Team Philippines they don't move out and contest the Roche, Ravage is up, they're not going to be able to fight the Roche. They have to try to fight it right now when Ravage is on cooldown.
Because the game deciding moment might just happen here for Philippines versus Thailand.
The Trin is also
series
has no mana. They have no mana on the Trin Protector too.
I think you just got to back up and reset. You probably just got to chill. Alright, Philippines, you know they can't actually finish this Roche off if they try and rush it. So you just break the smoke back up and reset. This is fine. Right? Like now you've exposed Philippines' position and they're in an awkward spot because they need to stick around to make sure you're not doing this Roche. But yeah, like I was saying, even though this series' tense might just be decided here, or it could turn around and Thailand could force us to a game number 3, the other series has already been decided. Myanmar takes the win versus Australia 2-0, so Myanmar alone eliminates the entirety of Oceania from this close qualifiers. Pretty base.
When can Thailand keep their hopes and dreams alive here? They're probably going to be able to force the game 3, but they need to close out the game. Do they have what it takes to close out the game before this PL becomes a problem? I think I'm pretty sure he's going to buy Silver Age the next item. I'll be so surprised if he doesn't buy Silver Age the next item. Did he buy something? He spent his gold? Oh, he bought the shard.
That's fine.
I guess it's okay. If they can get the Roche, this is going to be huge. Ravage, 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Oh, the Roche Rod. The Roche Rod because Jabs went in there and used the gush on it. So it just kind of stops that entire attempt. And now Philippines, they're watching a Roche with about, what, 40% HP walk over to the top side. I don't know whether they can contest it anymore.
That is actually, I don't know if it's intentional, but if it was intentional, that was pretty smart. Like that Raw just completely ruined it for the Philippines side. And now Ravage is back up. It's going to be so hard for them to fight. They're going to try, they're going to put the egg, like you said, outside of the pit. Lasso.
That's the lasso. Ravage comes through. Savage in trouble. The pops the BKB. Max snatches the Aegis though. They need to be able to get Savage on out of here, but he's looking healthy. Meanwhile, the rest of Philippines, they're not looking quite as good. Having to escape. We also find Shanks. Able to take down the egg on the outside and bring down Rupido. Knock down the frog as well. And now Mac, he is in big trouble. Lifted up by Q and brought back down into the silence. A full lawnmower mopping up the entirety of the Philippines.
That was a nice effort to take away the Aegis, but that was also a huge price to pay before Heroes. And they just can't really get away with it.
It's a good try there from Mavis with the egg, but couldn't really do enough in the fight.
They can't kill the Tide, that's the problem. Like, he's just standing in front. He's throwing gush after gush after gush after gush. He's
Akashi's gonna get rolled out too.
This game is over, man. No way.
Yeah, it seems that way.
I just don't see the game plan. I don't see the game plan with this 24 pick here. Like, it just doesn't really seem like they have a way to deal with the Tide. The Tide was picked at 23 and something to make it. I think these are the key items that we're looking at making an impact for Team Philippines. Whereas from Thailand, I think they are more looking towards doing well through the gates, controlling runes for the part, and they don't really mind playing like a slower pace game this time from the Thailand side. Dawnbreaker from offlane, it gives you a lot more power when you're contesting runes because you have a hero that can just come instantly with global presence. I think runes are going to be super crucial, but Luna can kind of also contest the runes to a certain extent when you have your intakes. But whereas you compare that to Team Thailand, they also have very strong rune fighting. Wyvern, these are heroes that can fight at the runes really well. Doom can also come over with the Scorch Earth and Doom.
I have a question for you. So we frequently talk about the concept of which lane you want to play through. We're going to hold that thought because Akashi might be in trouble. He sniffs out. Yeah, so we always talk about the concept of lanes you want to play through, right? If Thailand's active core this game is the Tiger, is it really okay to bring all the items in this lane? Because I would imagine that it might disrupt 23 Savage and his own farm and progression as well.
You want to play through the Doom on the, I feel. Doom is the hero you want to play through, you want to get the power, you want to open up the map. Timing is the one that I think gets to farm early. He is going to be active later once you get Dagger, Shadow Blade. But before that, you should not really play through the time.
It's going to be a bit hard to play through the Doom when he's under so much pressure. When it is an Akashi, you're going to start loading the damage. Huge strat fire back.
Yeah, the win is going to provide him with like a good presence in the laning phase. So the Doom kind of you always want to like support that's very strong at level 1. And talking about supports 9 goes down at level 1. It's totally underestimating the power because you have to expect the leaf, you know. I think a lot of players in this lane, they go with the leaf, and I also seen a lot of games where the underdog gets the pit at level 1, you know. And if you play too aggressive, you get lifted into a double pit, you die.
Meanwhile, bot lane, a bit of a trade out. Mavis getting the kill onto Q first. That is a big deal for the EXP, and Witch Doctor, because of the green doesn't lose any gold from the death. The small little wins here. Meanwhile, 9 again being run down by this duo. Avalanche to keep them in place. 23 really keeping him safe. The level 2 coming in clutch there, but 9 might still go down if he's not there.
It's okay, but that level 2 from the tiny, that means saving his life there. That would have been a disaster if the Wyvern dies there again after TPing back.
The time to enable the lane of the Wyvern, and then the Wyvern drops there. I think the level 1 lift catching Thailand off guard completely. They did not expect that at all.
I think they're going to stable down. When you get level 2 on Wyvern, you get the heal, then it's going to slowly be okay for you. But again, you know, another pit into lift combo. Did they get the timing? Yes, they get the timing with the double root. He is gonna die here. He's just not really careful enough on 9 here. Yeah. Not respecting the power of the Rubik Underlord.
I think we were talking a little bit about Thailand team introductions. 9 and Amku, compared to these other very experienced players, rather untested, right? So we did see some earlier, maybe individual mistakes from 9 on the Shrimp Protector as well, just kind of walking up places he had no business doing and getting picked off. This Winter Wyvern death, second one in a row, though, much more detrimental to the Thailand's game.
At least they're gonna get the Lotus here because the wave is pushed so that they get something for their trouble. This lane is not supposed to go this bad all the time. I mean, I get it, you know, Rubik, I know they're a strong lane. The first death was fine, but then you gotta know what's coming, you know, when they have their level 2, they're gonna go and, you know.
This is really annoying for Q and Jets because they're trying their damn best to harass Akashi out of this lane, but Mavis has had his voodoo restoration on for what feels like an entire minute, keeping Akashi topped off. You can imagine how tricky it would be for the Luna to assert her position in this lane if you didn't have that tool for system.
Doctor is one of the best laners on position 5. If you do a bunch of damage, you also give your carry a lot of sustain. Like the Wyvern doesn't have a game that's decent enough for him to get yet. The Doom is not going to have a very, very nice early game. I think he's still farming, he's pulling away, but I think he's expecting a gank to come at some point so he can actually get further ahead in this game. But if the gank doesn't come, then I'm afraid the lane is going to be just 50-50 farm trade against the Luna. But the Luna should be getting more matchup can be this bad, for the pub.
Maledict is so annoying. Every time Jabs wants to press his Scorched Earth to maybe apply some pressure, he's forced back by the threat of that Maledict taking him down. And sure, he's surviving, sure, he's still getting farm, but you're basically unshackling the Luna to have a completely free lane with this Witch Doctor pick. Supports now moving over to the mid lane on Philippines, looking to further pressure, should I say, Korea on the puck, forcing that reset. So very awkward timing here for the puck. Wants to be around for the 6-minute rules, might not even make it back in time.
The early game going fantastically for Team Philippines. They're doing well on the side lanes, both side lanes doing well, and mid lane is also doing really well. All 3 lanes doing well for them. I mean, the Doom and the Tiny, they're still in a decent position in terms of arrow, but the mid lane is going to be the problem lane right now. Level 6 on Mac, Maledict on the puck. Here seems like he's going to TP down and die here. That is a huge death. A very debilitating death for the game, for Team Thailand's perspective. The catapult wave is still alive. He's still have the catapult wave.
And they are just running circles around this Thailand lineup. The two supports, Wyvern and Win, they need a body in front. They need someone to kind of stand in front for them to follow up, but they ain't got shit. So all your creeps are being healed up. Catapult smacking away at this tower. You still got Illusion Wounds tanking it. And you can body perhaps a little bit more. No, maybe just gotta step away. But happy with the damage that they've dealt, even denying it. A bit of a spit in the face, not gonna lie. Thailand, they just don't really have anything they can do to respond.
This is unfortunate, the snowball effect, right? From the lane phase going badly from Park. And that death, he has to walk back to base. And now the 7-minute shrine. CML, maybe it's coming in to steal the shrine, but Nine is here to stop it from happening. But Philippines, they're in a very comfortable position here. The other ones exerting the pressure, the other ones are trying to speed up the game. Luna is very, very happy free farming, and he's going to even come through the gate. He has a skill point save up, 3 points to Lucina Beam, and he can learn his Eclipse if he needs to. And utilizing his night vision, even coming over to place a wall here, they see the timing. If they get this skill, this is going to be so bad for the Tiny.
Yeah. Kashi just taking full advantage of the night vision that he has the Luna. But here's where the Savage knows. Gonna run up into the Luna now.
Did he see?
I think so.
Maybe he saw him?
But it might be too late. 23 Savage pulled in the Remnant quick from Matt. Will slap down 23 Savage. That is cool. The former teammates both were previously on Nemesis for a short stint. Not so pleasant of a fashion for 23.
I guess good news.
Really nothing going right for Thailand.
Jabs is free farming bot. That's the good news. He's top of the network.
That's the only good news.
He is the richest hero in the game right now.
It's the Doom effect. I'm kind of surprised that he's still got good net worth, even though it seemed like Witch Doctor really asserted dominance in the bot lane. But I guess they never really killed Jabs hard. They just kind of kept forcing him back. And they were more concerned about sustaining the Luna and
yeah, they were also able to drag the waves with the Doom. It was like dragging the waves to the neutral camps and farming him with Scorcher. Like the moment you get level with Doom, he is always going to be able to farm. That's why it's very, very important to get a support that helps him at level 1. Doom is super weak the first 2 levels. But after that, the moment you get level 3, then you're just... you should be able to farm. You have the Scorcher farm.
When you say should be able to farm, is it just like spamming Scorcher for stacks?
Yeah, you drag the wave, you go to the neutral camp, and then you farm the wave. Together. That's how you get your network, and you also have to borrow at level 4.
I guess I just didn't really expect to be this significant.
He is gonna die
here. On the Jax. He's got drums, fairy fire, one, still surviving. Half duration on the Maledict. He's gonna survive.
I think if it was a level 3, I think it was a level 2 Maledict, he just got level 5. He would have died if it was a level 3 Maledict.
You know what it is? It might have been his death if he didn't have Cloak Aura as a passive creep ability.
Yeah,
he decided to pick that one up. It's a really big deal, actually.
10% magic resistance, definitely saving his life there.
Yeah. It's not really a creep ability you pick up very often. You're always looking at maybe the Hellbear Claps or maybe even Mana
It's a very smart one.
something.
It's a very smart one.
Yeah.
The move speed is the common one in early. The Cobalt Cup. And
Just
Jabs is back.
Faster.
He didn't die and he's back now. Oh, he missed
He's
it.
gonna try to escape through the gates. What?
Oh no.
He might go down here. Jet still able to walk this one off. No, this time round.
Bro, he clicked on the gate. He clicked on the gate and he stopped moving for 1 second. Oh boy. That might have been the reason why he died there. It's something that you actually should try to play underlord when you're shooting, because you place the gate directly in the path that he's going to be taking.
They might right click, right? Then they mess up and they like get tripped up.
That's a very smart placement there from Rupido there. I don't know if it's again not intentional, but
because how do you get up to the high ground there, right? Like the gate is quite literally in your way, so unless you're clicking past it would very much have to depend on Jab's camera position.
and normally you do not click past far away going backwards. You click like around your hero, the direction towards your hero. So it's very
It's like multiple really, really fast clicks and then you line up the path, right?
So it's very likely that you're going to click on his gate if he places it right above your hero.
Yeah, actually, the way that looks now that we saw the replay, that was excellent placement. It's definitely something for all underlord players to take note of. Already good.
Yeah, all the underlord
that makes sense.
Rejoice.
More nerdy shit for you. Love that.
Yeah, you always talk about, oh, there's a monkey king, I'm going to chop down his tree. But guess what? There's also another way of using it to block off the path.
It would be really, I think it would be fun if they, I don't know whether this will be a buff or not, but if the Fiend's Gate just became like a physical thing. You know how like a tool is like a unit that blocks your way? It would be so fun if the gate was like nothing. Like it just, you can block off a ramp with it. Why not?
Just like a kinetic fence. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Or maybe, let me think. Maybe more like a summon. Like protector powers.
I mean, this game is just snowballing out control because the mid lane got so bad. I think initially I was like, it's fine, but then the more the game progresses, it's not fine. Everything just kind of is really bad. They just got really outplayed in the early stages of the game. They didn't get to play their game with the Wyvern, they didn't get the gate gap towards the Doom lane. I mean, sure, Doom is still fine, but the whole game just kind of crumbled in the mid section, the safe lane. The Tiny losing his tower very early. And you do not pick Tiny to this match knowing that the early game will be this high. They expected more from this game, but I think unfortunately 9 NZ is not really, I think, proficient on this hero. He made a couple of very big mistakes, and now the game is really, really difficult for the Thailand side. 23 Savage once again on the run, trying to escape, and he's gonna get caught here.
He's gonna try and turn around and just get a kill to Shanks, but no such luck here. Shanks will be able to hide him and put him in the grave. Shanks is dominating here. I mean, you got all the items sort of coming up. Atos from Underlord. He's also finished up his use, so his setup's gonna be even more scary. He's still farming up, but should be really enjoying the team. 4K gold lead already at this juncture. We talked about it at the start, Winter, and we find ourselves talking about it again in the time where Thailand perhaps needs things to go right. Where are sort of the moving points? It's the two experienced players, right? You talk about 9 not feeling very comfortable with surviving, but also just in general not in the right place at the right time. And then Anku quite literally being mid-diffed this game by Mac.
The two least experienced players, I think it's not a surprise to see them kind of falling behind
Struggling.
the game. They're not really sure where they need to be, they're not really sure what they need to do. Like even if you look at the Wyvern, like the skill build on the Wyvern is really, you know that he's not a player on this hero. He doesn't play this hero much. You're not supposed, I think this is not a very good way of playing a hero. Your best spell is your Arctic Burn, and you want to like play with the Arctic Burn. And he even took, he ate the book for the Splinter Blast. It's not very good.
Yeah, that's
It doesn't reduce the cooldown of Splinter Blast. It gives you a little bit more slow, a little bit more damage, but for Arctic Burn it gives you a lower cooldown and increases the duration. I think that's the best spell you should take with the book. I mean, some players have
it can
experimented.
go a long way versus heroes like Underlord as well.
Yeah, some players have experimented. I see with the Poe Embrace, you get the book on the Poe Embrace and you get Rocket, but I don't think it's as good as the Arctic Burn. It's basically your best spell, Arctic Burn. It allows you to get in position. It's a slow, and it gives you damage.
I mean, I can completely understand the point you're trying to make. Even if he didn't go for the Arctic Burn, even maybe the cold embrace makes a bit more sense. I can understand why 9.
Bro, no way.
No, I'm saying like Arctic Burn is first, and then very far distance second is cold embrace, and I feel like Splinter Blast is like the last thing you want.
Yes, correct. If you don't play the hero enough, you don't really know that. But maybe sometimes even if you play the hero enough, you don't know that. It's just something that you have to really understand. I'm sure you know you have one of the best Wyvern players in C on your team, so you know the power of this hero.
Let's pick off there from the Philippines side though. They end up losing the witch hunter in the top lane, but Rupido gets out, gates over.
Yeah, look at the wards.
Killing them.
They have 3 wards on the bottom section. That's why Jeff's was wanted. There's no way he can farm on the bot side without getting spotted wards.
Yeah. And I think this is maybe Thailand. If they're aware that there's vision littered around this bot side, maybe you just kind of focus more on playing in this spot. Right, this is where you can find the pickoffs. This is where you might still be able to surprise Philippines with your burst damage.
Yeah, you want to attack the global hero, the underlord. You do not want to be playing across the underlord. They find him, but he has backup.
I don't know who's finding who. They're gonna try and get the Doom out. Mac will get run down. Bit of revenge there for the earlier pickoff. That's killing
1-for-1.
Uncle. Big deal.
Yeah, 1-for-1, but a big trade. Mac has a very, very big bounty on his head. 800 gold. Who got the kill? It was on kill, so he really needs the recovery goal. He's back to 5th in the net worth chart. Not something you expect, on a puck. I mean, he has to be
Talk
very
about how
careful.
Puck is like.
Yeah, he has to be very careful of the voice free with the use of the use into Brandon can let him kill off puck easily.
Spotting up Q with that night vision. Q's still sticking around trying to clear the creep wave, but he's got to know the way about it. So aggressive. This is an easy pick up. Even using the clips is a bit aggressive. I thought they'd be able to get the kill just with the pit and the pit below. That's fine. Open up the tier 2 top. Pretty early objective here. Sachi with his Manta and
Gems.
finish.
He gets the last hit.
Again. Just get the last hit on the tower, but now he's gonna get slapped around. Really rough.
Is it worth it?
I don't know.
Say no.
He kind of gave the Rubik Fireball, which I feel like is
They came back again. Big curse. 3 heroes.
Akashi. They did not respect the Winter Wyvern coming back through the gate.
It was in front of the turret. Bro, that was such a risky move. They got so cocky.
Wow.
They gated in front of the tier 2 and then they returned through the same gate towards the tier 2. That was a big misplay. Getting too cocky.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought they already finished off the tower. But I didn't realize everybody on Philippines actually came through the gate. And the tier 2 tower is still there. And look at 9 setting up. He's so ready for this play. And they don't see him even though they have a tower behind. And they all finish the move through the gate. It's so rough. I mean, CML Mavis is the only one to get the memo. Tries to delay his entry, but it's too late. Akashi's gone down at 23 Savage. Happy for that setup from his support.
Very, very big moment for the Team Thailand side. That was a moment that would give them return the game towards a 50-50 state, like a 3k swing right off that one witness curse. Well played.
Talk about 9 not necessarily looking the most comfortable on this Winter Wyvern, but coming up big when the team needs him most in a situation that honestly Philippines kind of gifted to them, right? There was no reason to do it. They just really, in your words, got very cocky.
They just assumed that they could do anything based on the state of the game, because they were so far ahead. But now, they gotta be careful. The longer the game goes, the Doom is gonna scale much better. I think it's also very nice. He has Shadow Blade completing his BKB soon. The Wyvern also gets better and better the longer the game goes. All these heroes, they are very, very strong the longer the game goes. And Puck, he might be behind, but now you look at where he is. He's 4th of the network, 9k, only 700 gold in the Void Spray.
Slowly climbing back out this outfit. He's done a good job to keep himself mostly safe. Gams will get caught again in the bot side. It's these wards, Winter, you keep talking about it. The entire bot side littered with Radiant Vision. Pretty difficult for Jets to stay in that area.
And he's also not a hero that can push the wave without showing a hero. You have to be physically in the middle of the wave with your Scorch Earth to push the creeps out, you know. So it gives your opponent a chance to gank you.
I will say then it begs the question, right? At this point, shouldn't it maybe be key to take up that farm in the bot lane and then maybe jab go somewhere else?
Yeah, I think that's a fair point to bring up. Like, I guess he just wanted the wave because he was so close. He was 300 gold away from being hitting. So he thought he could clear that one wave and get out, you know. This is it's very hard to change this, you know. It's like a human behavior thing. You're so close to the BKB, you're gonna try to take certain farm, you know. And he's in front of
here
the
comes
tier 2.
Look at this. You don't have the vision.
Can I pick one?
Get the cluster, but
Why the Luna? Why the Luna? What the hell?
Ah, 9.
He sees everything. Yeah, man, he could have just gotten a free kill there, free V, the Rubik or the Witch Doctor. Obviously, he killed the Rubik. That was so
that was very, very weird. The way, that's the thing, right? With 9 and the way he's played the Winter Wyvern so far, you get the idea that he might know what the right thing to do is in that situation, and then he just does the other thing, and you're like, what? This is what you were setting up for? It's so strange.
I'm gonna tell you, even not having power trades and not having the level 10 plus 30 damage is already a sign of how the play is going.
I was gonna say, before we kind of got the present, that I feel like this max bigger blast build is like the old school Wyvern, right? This is
No. You don't play with, you don't play like this now. There's no way you can. It's not I think I've tried it. I think I've also tried it. That's why I know the Q is your best spell.
Here comes 23 Savage, gonna look for the punish. They don't have vision on him just yet. There's a Luna Orbit coming through. Doom stolen though. Shank's gonna come back through. Doom up the Tiny. This is troublesome. Thailand, they bomb back to try and take this fight, but the problem is they can't overwhelm Philippines. There's way too much healing, and even though they do get Akashi with the Doom, they still bring down.
I mean, he dies in base?
Yeah.
The Doom?
To the Doom.
Shit. I thought he was fine. Apparently not.
That's tough, man. That's tough. Even with the BKB, the TP away.
The spell amp, that's why I said the Doom into the Rubik is actually a bold move. You know, Rubik is one of the best heroes of the.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention he had up until that point 9 curiosity stacks, so he has like just little shreds of buff debuff duration, amplifying the Doom duration.
He is
overall.
so big on the Rubik. Aether Lens and Vessel completed 22 minutes.
He's huge, yeah.
You gotta Doom the Rubik, I imagine, in the fights. I think he is actually arguably a core. Like Dooming the Rubik and Dooming the Void or the Underlord, I think it's the same kind of priority. Luna, even like I feel like it's not a very good Doom target. I think it's important to Doom the Void Spirit or the Rubik in the team fights. It's mobile heroes that can do a lot.
I mean, the way that Thailand just full focus onto the Luna, everything was used onto Akashi, but it just meant that the rest of Philippines had a free fight. And they could do whatever they wanted. The split bots just spellcasting freely on the backline. Mavis with his entire mana pool keeping Philippines topped up and healthy. Really well played from the Rubik to steal the Rubik and turn that onto Savage. Turning an okay situation into a great one. And now they're looking to extend that even more. And damage is a bit lacking though, I will say. This Roche isn't going down quick.
And it's only 2 heroes using the Roche. Only 2 heroes.
I guess so.
Gone are the days where you can get Roche.
Good try then.
You don't even see Ursa's that much. Okay, that's a good catch.
KB. That's stolen Doom.
He's dead. He's just dead. And Shax is just the MVP. He's in from the laning phase, getting the lead at level 1, doing well, snowballing the lane. And his contribution in the team fight with his spells is amazing so far. Every fight he's been able to do something very, very impactful.
Shags is absolutely shitting on them. Like, he is showing up big time. And
Yeah, you disrespect his Rubik. You pick Doom after seeing the Rubik.
yeah, he's like, he's looking at you. He's like, are you out of your damn mind? You don't know who I am. I will say that Philippines
Shanks
like
is FY incarnate.
FY It's actually not FY, it's PHY. That's the Filipino word. With that being said, I feel like this particular game in this series has really cemented why Execration has been such a solid team for so long. Right? The support duo, Mavis as well as Shanks, I think being very much able to show their stuff this game. Whether it's the Witch Doctor, CML, he's always been known for these maybe more unique position 5 picks. But one thing he does very well is securing his carry. And then you got Shanks, he's just always reliable. If you give him a situation, he's gonna find the rest.
Scam teams, they're so different. Scam teams, they're a lot more, I would say, dynamic and unpredictable of what they're doing. But CML and Shanks, they're very reliable.
Yeah, and that's kind of what has allowed Execration, at least in their previous season, to even find themselves in some land events after many years of not making it there, right? But maybe they can get themselves at the land here. One game away, starting to fight out onto Mac. Putting him in a rough spot because of the boom. This is what you asked for, Winter. Speaking of Winter's curse onto Mavis, taking out the reliable support. That's one. Onto the next. Mac is down as well. Philippines, they're in a bit of a pickle, but they still will turn around, being able to get the kill onto Jabs. Maybe a bit too deep against Shanks and Rukido, but yeah, great fight there for Thailand to take.
Good Doom, good Curse. So they were able to take a very good exchange there, 2 for 1 against the Aegis Luna. So that's not ideal for Team Philippines side. So a couple more of those, they're going to be back. You see the power of the heroes in the team fight. It is very, very scary. They land one big spell on the Curse, you're going to be easily turning the fight around. And if you look at the heroes, they're always going to be, because you have 2 melee heroes, and Witch Doctor and Luna, they kind of have to be near to get their spells or right click people. So it's very likely that you get caught in this curse.
Really, really good setup.
They need to be very, very careful of this Winter Wyvern. It's up to the Void Spirit, I think, to find him in the team fights, to get him in the silence. He has the Aghanim's completed. Just catch him and eliminate him. The Wyvern is probably the biggest hero you need to kill first on the Philippines side.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I feel like you can deal with everybody else, but if a curse comes through, that's going to cripple your entire team fight. Probably the Wyvern and the Doom, right? If you can somehow kill Jabs without him getting his Doom off, oh, your fight is free.
It's not going to be easy now. The Wyvern has Dagger and Force Stuff. He's very, very mobile in the team fights. Gotta be patient with the Aegis.
That's the slight benefit of the Splinter Blast Max build, right? It does it not optimally, but it still allowed 9 to clear quick waves from a very safe distance, and maybe in some situations.
Bro. You still need to use it twice to clear the wave.
Can you tell that I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt? Like,
wait, why he equips the creep? Okay, he actually finds it. I thought it was like eclipsing the...
No, he had vision of the Wind Ranger walking up to high ground, so like force out.
But the Wind Ranger actually saw it because he had a high ground ward, so he backed off, so he looked so weird.
And he got the job done anyway. Wind Ranger is dead. 60 seconds actually, no Q. And now Rukido's found himself a tiny. You got a BKB TP out. Rukido knowing this, not gonna bother.
He doesn't have a gate, so he can't connect his team to him.
Is he actually sticking around the Giant?
He's what, picking up Volcages, or he's waiting for Doom? He's waiting for Doom. He's waiting for Doom.
Oh, Mac could be caught.
He has a jab. Oh my god, he's so lucky. He is so lucky, bro.
Are you serious?
Lucky. He wanted to just
are shitting. That's some bullshit. Mac actually got away with it. But the fact that his little resonant pulse touch jabs in the team means that there's no
No, it was not the pulse. He just wanted to clear the